Welcome to Wednesday Night is Overbooked. I am your host, the Joker's Voice, and I'm here with my lovely panel of nerds who like to talk about wrestling. We will go around the horn right now. To my stage right, he's the partner on the show. He's my co-pilot on the show. It is the horribly bad takes, LeftEyeEgo. Ego, how are you, sir?
Covered in spit up and running off of 4 hours of sleep, but doing great and ready to talk some wrestling.
Oh, so basically you're being a dad, basically.
Pretty much, yes.
All righty.
Yes.
Glad I escaped that. And directly beneath him, coming off his biggest show ever, the captain of his own Starfleet, the guy who likes to watch the holes of worms in space. It is the captain, Duke Devil 95, Bradley Burnett. How are you, sir?
In the depths of severe editing.
Oh, really? Wow.
3.5 hours of editing that I have to get through.
Oh, I can imagine. And directly beneath me, it is the excruciating Terminator, Matt, the Unbearable 73. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good medically. So I get a little promised update. They got me into a wheelchair for the first time in 11 months yesterday. So
that is great news.
In the medical front.
Great
Otherwise, I've been in a good mood since then. Not even horrible wrestling could bring me down.
Well,
Although Ego, when you first appeared there and I wasn't focused, I was like, why is Ego wearing a basketball on his head? That's all the red.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we got some in the chat already from Huntsville, Alabama. It is Keely Chow. Roll Tide, sir. Roll Tide. And I am not going to play your normal Patriots bashing here. We will have none of that here, sir. And to that, Keely Chow just says, damn. But we got some stuff to talk about this week. And I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm seeing we're already about halfway to our initial goal of dozen likes. So we want to talk to the Momo. We fell short last week by one. One we missed it by last week, and we want to talk to Momo here. We love Momo here. So while you're doing that thumbs up, if you just look a little further, in the description, you'll see links to our social media. We all have YouTube channels. We would love your eyeballs, your watch hours, your likes, and your subscriptions. So if you don't mind, folks.
I say you better subscribe or we'll bash in some skulls, right?
Thank you, Harley. So a lot of the talk, we got two major shows next month. One is 2.5 weeks away at the beginning of August. The other is at the end of August. And that is WWE's second biggest show of the year, SummerSlam, and AEW's All In. And there's ticket troubles from both companies, as last year SummerSlam at MetLife Stadium in the great summer vacation spot of Newark, New Jersey. They're going to an equally hot summer spot, which is Minneapolis, Minnesota this year. And ticket sales are not good. The WrestleTix, I don't believe they have updated their on their X page yet, but last year for the 2 nights, WWE packed in about 110,000 people for 2 nights at MetLife Stadium. This year, right now, they're at less than half combined for both nights. When last I saw updated, Saturday was 22,000 tickets moved. Sunday was 23,000. Now that was before the Cody and Punk match was announced, so we may have seen an uptick. I think I saw on Saturday that 2,000 seats for Saturday got put back in play. I'm like, oh, that's not a good sign. And then for AEW, this is the third time in 4 years they're going back to Wembley Stadium, presumably because they're going to finally put the World title on Will Ospreay. The first time at Wembley Stadium, they were mid to high 70,000 people at the Wembley. Following year was about 50,000. This year, their setup is for 40,000. Right now they're looking at about 29,000 tickets moved.
Mm-hmm.
Is this now? I think we all know what one of the main problems with WWE is the extortion level pricing that WWE does for these big premium live events. AEW, I think WWE and AEW both also suffer from this, is the product has just not been that great this year. So I want to go around the horn really quick. Matt, let's start with you. Your initial thoughts on the ticket woes of both major wrestling companies in the world.
Well, I think with WWE, it's a combination of pricing, the economy, and some of these locations they're off the scale of the event they want. Like a double night of SummerSlam in Minnesota, I don't think so. But, now as far as AEW goes, they're on a decline from their peak when they had better ratings and better Q factor. This is in London, which is no longer a peak destination due to things we don't discuss on the show, but relate to which I would it be. And people don't want to go there. Like if I were going to AEW All In London, I'd want to do a tour of London and see the sights. I wouldn't want to do any of that. I'd want to go in, like they have people escort me to the stadium and get GTFO out of there,
Right.
And so that factors in when you want to get, even people in England don't want to, Britain or whatever, don't want to go to London anymore, and you got to get an international crowd for these big events. So there's a confluence of factors, more than one thing,
Right.
Yeah.
Brad, thoughts?
I'm pretty much in agreement with Matt, especially when it comes to London. We've all seen enough stuff in the news about how London is, there's some great controversies in England right now, involving various migrant issues, immigration issues, that sort of thing. Some concerns about going to the city. And I also think economically it's tough. I mean, remember when we looked at ticket prices this year for Vegas?
Yep.
It was insane. So, you gotta get to the location. You might have some people from the United States going over to London, but it's not going to be your normal family.
Right.
Not going to be, hopping in the family truckster.
Well, the thing about AEW is, and they're kind of known for this. They get a lot of late walk up. They get a lot of late walk up sales because of their ticket pricing is a lot lower than WWE's, but they've already done it. But they've already ran a half off sale. Ego, thoughts?
I would say it's part of it's more the exorbitant ticket pricing. I know my buddy that lives in Houston. He and his wife, they've got 4 properties like in downtown Houston area, that way around there. And when the World Cup came, everyone's thinking they're going to make so much more money because they'll be able to rent their place out and people will stay there. But no one really showed up because they're like, hey, we can't afford to actually attend these events because of the exorbitant ticket pricing. London being what it is, with the issues they have, I have no idea how much a ticket is in pounds if they're having around a 50% off sale. I don't know what the I guess the rate is for pounds to dollars, but I know pounds is usually more, right?
It's
Typically,
I have no idea.
Yeah, exchange rate. Yeah, I usually thought that the pound usually costs more in pounds and
Right
dollars. So
now,
I'm like,
£1 is worth more than $1 internationally.
okay,
Right.
I got you. All right, but yeah, I'm saying it's more exorbitant ticket prices, and if AEW is doing the same place a second or third night in a row, that's what WWE did with Vegas and WrestleMania. You saw that turned out. I mean, if it were up to me, I would say that you'd have to ask yourself, if we're doing SummerSlam, what's a place where you can always get a flight to, like no matter where, like you can always get a flight to Dallas and Chicago. That's where I'm thinking. Like if you want to go to places like where you can always get a flight to, if you have to travel, and it's going to be at least somewhat of a summer destination, if not for a short period of time, that's what I would do. But putting it in Minnesota in August and then having, AEW's event in London is like, these are two bad choices for summer destinations. I just think that the exorbitant ticket pricing doesn't help.
London, generally, as far as a wrestling crowd, is a very hot crowd. Generally speaking, as one of the international locations. Now, let me pose this: if the product was good, would this be less of a problem?
For which
Brad?
for both of them.
Brad.
I'm sorry. Something popped up on my screen and I was trying to shut it down. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I missed what you said.
If the product was good, because we lament with WWE constantly on their story or lack thereof of late, and with AEW, they just recently took the title off their biggest draw, which is MJF, the biggest heel in the company. If the product was good, would either company be having these ticket issues?
I don't think so. I mean, just look at, we're pro wrestling. We talk pro wrestling here, but let's look at the other side of the genre, the stuff I talk about all the time, science fiction, superheroes, that sort of thing. You have crappy movies coming out. If it was a good movie, no one be saying, hey, Supergirl's bombing. They'd be going to see a good movie, no matter what it costs. If you have good product, if you have good story, and people want to see it, they're going to pay for it. They may even pay more than they want to pay. I think that, financially, it's a combo. I don't want to pay for crap. I don't enjoy the story, and you're gonna want me to. Maybe 5-10 years ago, it was like, let's just say it's like $50 for a ticket. Now it's $150, and the stories are even worse. So why would I pay more for something that's even less in quality than I had years ago?
Gotcha. Ego, thoughts on that?
I generally agree. My mother-in-law came to visit us a few weeks ago. I actually bought the movie in the gray. We made it work. But we bought the movie In the Gray with the Henry Cavill and Jake Gyllenhaal movie, because it was like it was $20. But I'm like, I like the cast, I like the story, I like the movie. It's good. I'm going to pay more than what I probably should to get a good product. So you're right. If the product was better, I can see more people actually purchasing tickets. But you've got to at least have that going for you going into said event, and neither company really does right now.
All right, Matt, wrap this up.
I agree to extent that an improved product will get more people, but given the other factors, I still think those matter. The true location, the cost. I want to keep it real simple. There's 4 of us. Let's say we all lived in the same city, right? And we all wanted to go see Supergirl. And it's a bad movie. It's still going to cost us a minimum like $60 or $80 just to get it in the movie theater. Not leaving on popcorn, soda, whatever.
Well, unless you come to my town, I know a place where a matinee is $6. So. Well,
yeah, but in general, I'm saying, let's say we lived in New York or something, and like, who would want to do that when we can go to one of our houses and watch on the giant screen of WrestleMania on our own screen?
That's the other thing. That's another good point, because remember when you used to have to go to bars to watch these events, and you'd have the big projection screen. We all have 50-inch plus TVs now. Everyone has great sound systems.
Make our own good food or get cheap catering and not pay, what was it like? Is it like $10 for a big bucket of popcorn now at the theater?
At least
stuff,
Oh, hold on.
Going to watch Supergirl is like going to watch the Seahawks play.
Wow.
Ow.
Wow. Well,
we struck first tonight, guys. We struck first.
No, Keely
Keely just got in there.
Oh.
Oh! Fatality.
And then Matt came in right here.
Fatality.
Yo,
Because that's
Kiro,
what it feels
Taco
like
Bell.
watching the Seahawks game every single time.
Oh. So, WWE, AEW, this is your own doing. You kind of screwed yourself. Now, I'll pose this last question here. Do you think this may be the tipping point where WWE maybe learns a lesson?
No.
Nope. I don't
They haven't learned. When have they learned a lesson in the last few years? This is not the first time we've had this issue.
And plus what did WWE have last year that they don't have this year? John Cena's last insert event.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that this year. So moving from just ticket price. Wow. That is now, no, that's bad. That's bad. Going from ticket prices to a promotion altogether. There's a great show that kind of even Brad's significant other who doesn't like wrestling will watch this show. And that is Dark Side of the Ring. And they started this season with kind of the origins of TNA, which stands for Total Nonstop Action.
Really?
Right.
Huh.
But
It's a double entendre. For you
It's a portmanteau.
double entendre, guys. I know they don't teach that in school anymore, but it's called a double entendre.
So Jeff Jarrett was with WWE, WCW. He left WWE to go join WCW because he thought himself a main event talent. Vince said, no, you're not. Also, another big thing with Jeff Jarrett was his best friend was Owen Hart. And the show where Owen Hart met his tragic end, Jeff was in the match, the very next match, and he said, I could feel the crater that Owen Hart left in the ring. And he had to walk over that, his best friend's death. Now, Jeff Jarrett was the son of Jerry Jarrett, a longtime wrestling promoter. His name was mentioned in the movie The Iron Claw. This is a family that's been around wrestling for years. So Jeff decided he's going to bet on himself and come up with a wrestling company, his own wrestling promotion. It's going to be different, though. They had the 6-sided ring.
That's right.
They had very athletic wrestlers. This TNA was known for like the birthplace of AJ Styles and people like Samoa Joe. He brought in people like Dutch the Mantel and Jim Cornette, Vince Russo, who we'll discuss in a bit. Episode 1, which is kind of the history and the origin of TNA. They had gotten some funding. I forget the name of the company that was kind of backing them, and then they got into some legal trouble, like Enron level stuff, and they had to back out. And TNA almost went under. But someone who worked for their PR said, talk to my dad. And that person was Dixie Carter. Episode 2 buries Dixie Carter like crazy. Just buries her.
Deservedly so.
Now, I want to get... So, Ego, you watched you watched. What were your thoughts of episode 1? Which I also wanted to bring this up. When Jeff Jarrett's first wife passed, it was the exact same day. It was the same day that Owen Hart died.
Damn. I will say that there's I have a really large gap between the time that I stopped watching wrestling to when I started talking with you guys, and it's TNA is dead in that gap. It's a Mariana Trench. I didn't know it went that deep. But I messaged JV and I was like, I don't know who Vince Russo is, but I want to punch him in the fucking face.
Yes,
like, that was the first thing I told JV. I didn't know why. I just, when I heard him talk, it's like if ever it was, I wanted to punch someone on site that I did not know it was him. I didn't know why. But
you could have just finger poked him of doom.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, just emotionally, it was very tough to hear him say about the situation with Owen Hart. Like, I lost a best friend that I'd had maybe like around 2015-ish. So I know what it's like to have to move on while something terrible and tragic is happening in the background, and not many people outside of your inner circle are going to know what's going to happen. But I mean, it was astounding to figure out everything that I was hearing that was happening behind the scenes with it. But I mean, I'm trying to listen to more of what you guys have to say about it, because I have no, I guess I have no reference point for everything that was happening. So I don't know if they're trying to do certain camera things for the camera, or that's the way production and editing went. But I was just astounded by all the stuff that was happening to Jeff Jarrett and because of Jeff Jarrett with TNA. So I'm trying to fall back and listening to you guys. But my first thought was, I want to punch Vince Russo in the fucking face. That was it.
Well, just so you know, for reference, at the tail end, the worst part of WCW, that was Vince Russo as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Punch
Brad
justified. Got it.
Brad thoughts.
I have not watched it yet, but I know enough history about Jeff Jarrett, and I know enough history about Vince Russo. For Ego saying, I want to punch Jeff Jarrett in the, I'm not Jeff Jarrett, I mean Vince Russo in the face, not even knowing what problems he caused from WWE to WCW. The one instance that I distinctly remember, because I just saw it somehow pop up in my feed, was Jeff Jarrett laying down for Hollywood Hulk Hogan to beat him.
Mm-hmm.
Who was behind that?
Vince
Russo. And Jeff Jarrett went along with it. And
Hogan.
Yeah.
And it was just because Jeff didn't want to lose to Hulk Hogan, or what was that? Because they breezed by it, but I didn't understand it. I mean, I'm asking for the brevity of it. I'm sorry to derail it, but I didn't know why.
Go on, Brad.
Honestly, I don't remember. I thought it was a whole thing. Did it end up being a work after all? I forget if it ended up being a work. But the bottom line is, and I don't remember Vince Russo actually going to TNA. That's the part that I forgot. When you said, I'm like, wait, he went to TNA? Okay. So did he go over at the beginning, or did Jarrett bring him in after?
I think Jarrett brought him in, and when and Jim Cornette, just every time he was on, he was on screen, he was burying Vince Russo. What was it? D'Lo Brown said, "You bring in Vince Russo to do a wrestling show, you're going to get 5 minutes of wrestling in a 2-hour show."
Yeah, I don't know what I mean, he worked with him, for God's sakes. He saw what he was, both in WWE and WCW. Why would you bring this guy in? He's toxic. Okay. It's poison.
Matt, thoughts?
Very briefly. So when ECW and WCW collapsed, and there was no more any like B-League competition for WWE, a lot of the behind the scenes and upfront talent guys from those two places were looking for someplace to work. So the two big promotions that formed were TNA and Ring of Honor. Correct. And Jeff Jarrett and his dad founded TNA, and about a year or two in, they sold it to Panda Bear Express Energy or whatever it was called.
Panda, right?
Yeah, and that Dixie's dad was the controlling guy there.
Right.
So after the Jarretts came in, I watched TNA on and off over these times. So they forced out Jerry retired basically, and then Jeff gradually got forced out, and Dixie via nepotism got placed in control of the company. Okay, and that's what is relevant here is I was talking about Jay beforehand. TNA would be having good storylines for say 6 months or a year, then Dixie would pull some crazy stunt or whatever, and it'd suck for a year, and then a bunch of wrestlers would leave. That's how come you saw Samoa Joe going all over the world, Ring of Honor in Japan, AJ Styles, same thing, because they didn't want to be around the craziness, and they disappear for a while. And so seeing like I haven't seen the Dark Side of the Ring yet. I want to watch it because I'm curious how they're going to summarize all the TNA hijinks that happened over that 15 year period.
There's a lot of gaps in here, but basically episode 1 was the foundation right up to where Dixie becomes involved. Episode 2 is that early Dixie years when all of a sudden she shows up on TV and she gets the bug.
Yeah.
And she wants to be on TV more. And kind of the through line of episode 2 was when Kurt Angle came over to TNA, which I will say Kurt Angle was probably put on better in the matches during that run that is WWE run. He was an animal in TNA. But they brought him in, and this is when Kurt was on painkillers. He was hopped up, but once the red light went on, he was a machine. Now they brought in Kurt's ex-wife to kind of keep him they were going through their divorce. They were legally separated to kind of keep him in check, to get him, make sure he gets from site to site, whatever. They get divorced, and she and Jeff, because she's backstage, they start talking. They start having a relationship. It's kept very hush-hush until a Christmas party where they invite talent and they invite executives over. Dixie Carter knocks on the door, and both Kimberly and Jeff answer the door, and she flips her shit. And this is when Dixie decides we need to get Jeff out because of the way it looks. It doesn't look good. So Jeff gets pushed out. And then the third episode is when they brought in Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan. It's at this point that TNA goes through a radical shift as Hulk Hogan is given creative control. And this is when the six side to the ring is gone. Some of the very much the identity of TNA is gone at this point. So it's a really good series. You see people just burying people left and right. It's kind of funny. And Dixie Carter declined to be a part of these episodes. I wonder why. Moving over to the WWE. Did anyone see SmackDown last week?
No.
No?
Not I.
Well, you missed something last week. Trick Williams, in true WWE fashion, got himself a custom title belt. That's right. The U.S. Championship has now been customized for Trick Williams. What is Trick Williams' part of his signature look?
I actually don't.
It's
Oh,
shoes.
God. I just saw it. I saw it.
Shoes.
Yeah.
Ego,
I thought that was a woman's belt.
Ego, right?
Wow.
Ego, you prepared some slides of stuff that was good, custom gimmick belts, and stuff that was awful. Do you mind showing that, please?
I believe I will. I have this up when you're ready to show. First up that I had was
$1 million
the,
belt.
$1 million
Great.
belt.
I love that thing.
This was so
Actual
much
gold.
fun. Oh yes,
I understand that. That's
Actual
actually
gold and diamonds.
yes, real diamonds.
Wait, really, actually gold and diamonds?
No.
Oh, see
Should
there.
have kept it going.
See there.
We're gonna run that for a year.
You guys suck.
You
Next
Joker, you
up.
don't know. You got to know to troll the panel. That's what I do on my show.
Oh, well,
And
I do.
next one we've got is the Stone Cold World
Smoking
Heavyweight
Skull
Championship
belt.
That's fine. That's a good one. That's appropriate.
Now this came out. This didn't last long. This was only about a year. Stone Cold came out at this belt on an episode of Raw instead of the Big Eagle. The last time this belt was seen was the SummerSlam in 1998. These were the good ones. Then we have some not so good ones.
Next up.
This thing,
Oh,
the
God.
Crown Jewel title belt.
And
Which-
that is
which-
not a type. I'm sorry, that's not a typo on the price point. It is almost
Yes.
sold
See,
out. It's not a
The
typo.
crown jewel belt serves a secondary purpose. In the event of a tornado, will weigh you down so you won't go flying away.
Right, exactly. Now it's funny because that's the men's belt. The women's belt is about the same size, and when your two Crown Jewel champions are Stephanie DeVaquer and Liv Morgan, both who are under 5'5",
It's like half their body.
It
Fucking
basically,
corset.
yeah, it basically it's just
Like Liv can hide behind the belt entirely and disappear.
right, exactly. And this thing is just gaudy, and it's a photo op. Oh God,
the speed belt.
I'm sorry, I didn't make a jump to the next one. Yeah, this is the next one we got.
these are the speedy belts. These look like for matches that for a title belt thing that focuses on matches that are 3 minutes. I think that's about how long WWE creative took to design the
They literally just looked at TikTok and said, "Let's do TikTok matches."
basically yes. Hey, Eric Douglas, how are you, sir? Oh God, this
The butterfly.
monstrosity. The Divas Championship belt. Who remembers this hideous thing?
I feel like
I don't
this should be.
I was going to
this
bring
should-
it up. You know,
this should be on like a box of a feminine product or some sort of birth control.
and for
Just-
some reason, it reminds me of when the Seahawks won the championship.
Wow.
Kind of
Hold on.
looks kind of.
Fatality.
It kind of also looks like a uterus.
Oh, hold on.
Your ruler has arrived.
And I just looked at the chat, guys. We are at 8 likes. We're more than halfway to our goal of a dozen. If you have not hit that thumbs up yet, make sure that you do. And then we have the monstrosities. Ego, do you mind?
Yeah.
Do you
What the
remember
frick is this? Is this the
When-
glow belt?
the glow belt?
Real belt.
Fuck. God.
Which made me laugh because in the Netflix show Heels, one of the first meetings with this wrestling promotion company is their champion is wearing a belt that is like it's got all these lights and bells and whistles on it and everything, and he's like, "What the hell is this for?" And they said, "So someone in the top row in the nosebleeds can see the belt." And the guy said, "This is fucking stupid. This was a horrible belt design."
And so when that dresses like a highlighter, I kind of like it, but that's just me though. That's just me. That's only me.
You
So-
fucking mark.
You know what? I would have been.
Move this man.
Hey, look, he's consistent.
This is true. Next up, Mr. The furry belt for $700. This can be yours.
Wild.
I actually thought this was a woman's belt. I didn't see that it was U.S. Championship. I saw a belt with fur on it. I thought it was some woman's belt.
Right. because
That's
this
just
look
well, it's gonna
because
be gross to maintain.
because at first glance, this is Tiffany's belt.
Mm-hmm.
Until you until you're like, oh wait, that's fur. Go on, Mr. Ego.
Next one. All right, yeah.
Yes. Remember this?
Oh, the spinner. Is this the first spinner?
The John Cena's United States Championship belt. When
Did
he
it
turned it,
to a spinner belt?
which
Didn't we get that with the Rated R Superstar belt too?
we get, and then you know it, you hated it. This fucking monstrosity. From when I heard that belt weighed 14 pounds.
Why? Why would they do this?
Because John,
It was the 2000s.
yes.
What?
Yes.
What? 2000 what? You remember?
7,
Yeah.
8.
Back when
That
spinner
is-
rims, when
That's
spinner
behind the
rims
curve.
were a thing.
Yeah, because look, Edge is still there with the Rated R. He wasn't as much. He looks very different. Yeah, that's probably mid 2000s,
Yeah.
especially with Miz. So maybe that's 2010.
And then
Oh
this,
my God, I forgot about that.
the
I don't
Fiend
understand
belt.
that. I don't understand that at all.
Bill, because when Bray Wyatt's alter ego, the Fiend, captured the Universal Championship, they thought that a normal looking title belt on him would look weird. So they came up with this,
Still better than the Divas belt.
which you could have bought this belt on WWE Shop, $6,000.
Stop.
True story.
Bargain?
No way.
Oh, total bargain.
Literally, that's how much I paid for my dental work 2 weeks ago.
Christ. The next one.
Oh,
Oh, what's
yeah.
that? No, that was it. That was it.
that's it.
I'm surprised you didn't have the Brahma Bull belt up there as one of the worst.
Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself.
Why would I give that man any press? It's bad enough that my bar we serve Terramana tequila.
That's still there?
It's cheap.
It's
Okay,
cheap,
got it.
and somebody insisted on taking a shot of that, and I refused them on principle alone. Said I can't do it.
That's fair.
Take Patron instead. So
Better option.
not really. Hey, Mr. Fracture Filter, how are you, sir? As I just say, we're at 9, guys. 9 likes. We're almost there. Almost there. And so, as I said, we are 2.5 weeks away from the biggest show of the summer. So we're going to talk SummerSlam as we got more matches announced.
Oh, let me bring this up.
So I'm going to show.
Wait, when is the Saturday night's main event? Is that next weekend?
this Saturday?
No, Saturday.
Oh,
Saturday.
God.
This
Really?
Saturday, and we are not going to be covering that because that card is ass. Because they added a big star main event, a tag team match, Punk and Cody versus Gunther and Sammy. But other than that, you've got Danhausen versus JD McDonough. Danhausen will probably get the biggest pop of that entire show.
Well, I don't know. It could be close because JD could come out with a batleth. So do not do not discount the Klingon.
Fatality.
That's actually the sound when JD McDonough headbutts you. That crash.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm looking at the chat right here. We just jumped to 11 likes, so we're 1 away, folks. 1 away from getting to that initial goal of 12 likes. So, and then we've got the women's tag team title match. Brie Bella and Paige.
Seriously, no one cares.
How about everyone losing the belt just gets disappeared?
Which that would be ideal, but they're in a match. Put the belt on Fallon Henley and Lady Reed, please, and make sure Brie Bella never shows up on TV again. And then just added is Bailey and Lyra. Lyra's now turned heel. I thought this would have been a good, well, so now instead of Bird Girl, she is Angry Bird, is what Lyra is now.
That's a great app, Angry Birds.
Right?
She's basically playing Bailey's role from when Bailey had like multiple personalities right now.
Yeah.
They just switched roles. Well, she was a role model for her.
Wow. The whole train of the US Champions online. I think this is maybe where you may get a spot where you get AJ debuting Tatum Paxley. Might be a good place for her to show up. Yes, and she's basically like a crazy hobo now. I think this is good for Lyra. A character change is fine.
2.0.
I guess.
And then so that card is ass. No one's going to watch it. I will actually not be watching that show.
It's on Peacock, right?
Yes, which I ditched. Which I will be waiting for. I'll be waiting for a Solomon to. He's going to watch the show, so I don't have to, and then I'll wait for his review.
That's why I watch Star Trek Station Worlds.
But 2.5 weeks, we have SummerSlam coming up, and a half an hour after. Oh, it's a puppy! A half an hour after both Saturday and Sunday. At least Ego and I will be here to give a quick initial gut reaction. But I want to go over this real quick here as we have an updated title card here.
Oh, I actually may be able to watch that with you guys.
Ooh, nice.
I'll
So
be
here
alone.
we have.
I'll be alone that weekend.
So we have here. Actually, let me make this larger. Okay. Updated SummerSlam 2026 card. World Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. That promo segment where Roman said, well, at least you got something to say because you're bored the entire crowd. Well, last week I'm like, oh, that was a shoot. Have fun with that. That was great. We have the Hell in a Cell Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi match. The more this match is happening, the more concerned I am at this match. For one, Oba and Brock matches have not gone past 8 minutes. This is a Hell in a Cell match. When's the last time WWE had a Hell in a Cell match?
Was it Cody and not Cody? I'm sorry, Punk and Drew.
Punk and Drew, which was an amazing match.
That was at least 20 minutes, right?
At least 20 minutes. So they're going to be. Can these two put on a match of that magnitude? We will see. Then we have the Women's World Championship, Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. God, the title picture for both brands for the women is just abysmal right now. Undisputed WWE Championship, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. So now you've got your WrestleMania night 1 and night 2 main events now running at SummerSlam. 6-man tag match. LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys versus the Usos and Jacob Fatu.
What a combination.
It's interesting, and I'm not going to lie. I'm actually liking Solo kind of being on his own and being more of a character. He's actually quite entertaining. He's got some pretty good comedic timing. I'm not going to lie. And in a very good gauntlet match, we now have Chad Gable versus Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. If they give these guys time, this is your match up the night right here. This match could be absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal match. And there's a good story behind that because it is then coming full. It's then coming full circle with because Penta's first match was against Chad Gable on the debut of Raw for Netflix. So yeah, any thoughts on anything so far? Oh, and we're gonna get Gunther and Nick Aldis.
So
I want to ask this question first because I want to go to the situation with the ladies here. We heard on last Friday, Rhea and her husband were at one of those slap fest matches where they watched Jack Swagger get his face caved in.
Yeah.
And they were talking to Rhea, and she said that she's been out for a while. She got hurt at Clash in Italy, and that there's a tear in her meniscus. And she says it's healing. I'm getting stronger. It's hard sometimes to bend. And true, very, very, very true, very, very true. Tatum Burns, no, too soon, way too soon. And she's like, it's hard to bend, which you kind of need to be able to do. And I'm thinking to myself, what have they been doing with this? So you've got a champion who hasn't been on TV, and you're 2.5 weeks away from your second biggest show. At what point do they say, okay, title is vacant now, and do you just make the Jade Charlotte match, which nobody wants this to be part of it, but what other match do you have there? I mean, they haven't done enough with Tiffany, who has the second belt, to elevate her, and her match is going to be against who? Blake, who's been on TV now 3 times and has not had a match yet.
No one's going to know them.
And then over on Raw, we saw a really good match between Io and Roxanne. Liv Morgan won the title at Mania. Her first title defense will be at SummerSlam.
Ooh.
Yeah. Keep that in mind.
Yikes.
Because they did not have a plan B for when Stephanie went out with an injury. Now, Stephanie...
Wait, Matt, say something.
Sorry?
You said plan B. There's always a plan B.
Apparently not. Apparently not in this case. Now, from what I've heard, Stephanie has been cleared medically, but I can't come back to work yet because something to do with work visas or something. I don't know how all that. I don't know how all that works. Apparently, that's also the same issue with Ilya, because he's been off of TV for a while, but we see him at Natty's gym, going through running ropes, training and stuff. So I don't know how work visas operate. Brad, do you have any?
I have no idea. That's an area of law that I have no idea about.
Okay. So, but it has to do with governments, and governments work at the speed of smell.
Yes.
But so you've got Liv on Raw. Io's in the mix, but that's not going to happen until SummerSlam. Roxy and Raquel are aligned with Liv, so that's not going to happen. Becky Lynch has not been on TV for a while. It's too soon. It's way too late for that. Sol Ruka's the IC champion, and Bailey and Lyra have got their own thing going. There was no plan B, where in case somebody goes down with an injury, and Liv has basically been a manager at this point. I mean, now the matches that we have for SummerSlam on paper look good. I think we may have. Is this could be the same thing that we had last year, where SummerSlam was a better show than Mania?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, thoughts.
Well, WrestleMania has been underwhelming the last couple of years. So, you know, and as far as
Wow, sir. Wow, that's a
Catching strays left and right.
low blow here, sir. Keely Chow.
You just made the list.
I was gonna say I looked at the recovery time for a torn meniscus. It looks like it could be 3 to 6 months at its worst, and that's why they're saying that because of the age that you are, and when you have it. And the issue is if you do not get a meniscus stabilized, you're at risk for tearing an ACL. So I mean,
Right.
they're saying that 1 to 2 months at the very least, 3 to 6 months at its worst. So it's weird that they don't have a plan B for this one. I didn't think about the fact that they've been hiding Liv Morgan since WrestleMania, that she's been having a title, and there hasn't been a change with it being so top heavy in the women's division for the Universal Championship. So it's gonna be rough watching the women's division moving forward. I mean, maybe we got
Now-
one good match in the books, but
Well, so and here's my thought, and I said this a month ago on in a super chat with Monster, that WWE is kind of holding out. I mean this Friday may be the last time that they make maybe the deadline where they make a decision, because they want this crown jewel match. They want Rhea as champion, Io as champion, going in champion versus champion. Neither title is on the line. Rhea can finally get a win over Io. Now, I heard this pitched. Do you think that what they should do is have Rhea vacate the title, just put it in that Charlotte Jade match, put the belt on Charlotte, then you've got WrestlePalooza in December. I don't like hot shotting titles, but hot shot it right back to Rhea, because then Crown Jewel is in a month. In October, you can have your match then. Brad, thoughts?
It's kind of the only way to go at this point. I mean, what it's a freaking mess. That's the thing, that when you get hit with the injury bug, and when you don't have a bench, that's the problem. They were so reliant on these top talent that they didn't really work on developing the bench. And when you got to look at it and say, hey, you can go down with an injury. I mean, you look at football teams. I mean, the backup quarterback is still practicing.
Right.
He's still out there getting reps and everything. So they needed to develop it. And this is a failure on creative part, which of course we know is run by TKO.
Right. Matt, thoughts?
Putting a belt on Charlotte might not be a bad idea for a little bit, because she's got a lot of positive face goodwill. Let her put be the face who's. So I always say the face is the chase and the heel is the heat. Putting the belt on Charlotte means they're now going to chase down the top face for a month or 3, and that will generate. Again, what they're trying to do is merch sales, ticket sales. That's the ultimate goal of the business part of this, is the Q factor. So I'd be okay with putting the title on Charlotte. Personally, with Rhea, I like to see him do a kayfabe injury for her if they want to take her out of the picture for a little while, and then
Well, she is
let her
injured.
rest, recuperate, come back strong for the program with EO or whatever. But
All right, Ego thoughts.
Fucking swerve it. This is what I say. Do I put the belt on Maxine Dupree? I don't care. Whatever I do, I don't fucking care. Give it to the first Paul Heyman gal.
You just made the list.
Validate it until December. I will take anyone other than Charlotte.
This man.
I thought
Why are you
Heyman
booing
was
me? I'm
even.
right.
No,
I thought you were
well,
gonna
sir,
go all
well,
in.
Well, sir,
Right.
well, sir, here. I'm about to school Ego here. First off, the title that is up for the title in question is the WWE Women's Championship. That's on SmackDown. Maxine is on Raw.
Move it.
No. And what you're going, and so then the Paul Heyman gal, did you watch Raw?
I was going to say, isn't Paul going bye-bye from the Vision?
Yeah. Paul
Yeah,
said,
the Vision, not Maxine Dupree. We haven't heard explicitly.
She's part of the Vision.
She's part of the Vision. She's
She's not jumping on Paul Heyman. She's jumping on Austin Theory.
Right.
That's looking
exactly.
part of the division for sure.
Hop on and hop off of a ride. Not explicit.
Wow.
Ego, I admire your passion.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
I miss
I'm
him.
going to do an
But-
intervention here and ask
but-
that Shiro focus on parenting and Ego
And-
not be allowed to bring
Yes.
such awful ideas to children.
Because you are really back to your bad takes now. That was awful.
I was just
Well,
saying,
for
like,
sure, can't do the pick
I'm
one
saying,
anymore.
you guys said put the belt.
Be logical.
We haven't been done that in a while.
Very similar to how The Rock threw Farouk out of the nation.
Censorship.
Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself.
This is not a governmental entity. You don't have a First Amendment right.
Right, exactly. So before we go into the staple of the show, I'm looking at the chat. 10 likes. We're about 2 away. If you have not already, hit that thumbs up button. And while you're doing that, be sure to look down in the description where you can find all the links to our socials and all of our YouTube channels where we would love your eyes, your watch hours, your subscriptions, your likes. So if you don't mind.
I say you better subscribe or we'll bash in some skulls, right?
So I did a video this morning talking about crossover athletes, as one of the matches is with Chad Gable, Obafemi. We have a lot of athletes who have come to the world of professional wrestling from other sports. And that takes us to the staple of this show.
Always keep a smile on your face.
And that is the Wednesday Night's Overbooked Top 5, where we take a wrestling topic. We give our 5 best takes. Our number 5 take gets 1 point. Our number 1 take gets 5 points. And at the end, Bradley Burnett changes his name to Price Waterhouse for a definitive scientific answer on this topic. Crossover athletes who came from one sport or another, because for the longest time, if you were in other sports, pro wrestling was not on your radar. You may have been a fan of it, but you were generally from a wrestling family, and you just followed in your family's footsteps. Now with WWE's NIL program, a lot of athletes are crossing over into the world of professional wrestling. So we're going to go with our top 5 from outside of pro wrestling talents that are in currently or have been professional wrestlers from other sports. Ego, who is your number 5?
I'm going with the former strongman Mark Henry.
Mark Henry. Excellent choice. Excellent choice.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was a former strongman until I started watching, and I was like, oh wow, he's not just massive, but there's strength behind that mass. It's like if you had Kingpin personified, it would be Mark Henry. So you would think that there's blubber, like no, it's a lot of muscle that you're not seeing. So I've got Mark Henry at number 5.
Olympic level power lifter. Brad, your number 5.
My number 5 is a person who first made her entry foray into the WWE on a guest appearance on WrestleMania.
Oh,
And then, of course, she went on and won a championship, and things got not so good. But she is a major professional athlete, Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey. I love the fact that she got permission from Hot Rod to use his font and the kilt and stuff.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Matt, your number 5.
Very briefly, my honorable mentions are Ernie Ladd, Lawrence Taylor, Ronda Rousey, and Ken Shamrock.
Okay.
But my number 5 is same as Ego. It's Mark Henry. The dude was a legit world's strongest man, and not just like won it and quit. He kept that strength up for years.
Oh yeah.
And when I did my list, I want to say they had to have a legit athletic career and a legit wrestling career, not just like
That's what I did. Yep. That's
why
what I did.
Lawrence Taylor, he makes some honorable mention because he had only that one great match at WrestleMania. That's why I couldn't put him higher, even though, you know. So anyway, Mark Henry, number 5.
My number 5 is Beverly has gotten her feet wet in the professional wrestling world, has been at this game for 2 years. But she's already being touted as the future of women's professional wrestling. She has a collegiate wrestling record where she was a 3 consecutive NAIA national champion, 0 losses, 120 wins. It's the current NXT women's champion, Kendall Gray. She's fucking amazing. All right, Ego, you're number 4.
He has set WWE on fire the last, I'm guessing, 4.5 months. That is the shot putter, if you could believe it, turned wrestler Obafemi. I've got him in number 4.
Obafemi didn't make none of my list.
It was a longer list than I thought when I looked through it.
Right.
Like, oh my god! Like, are we gonna have a section for honorable mentions? Because Jesus, I got a lot of those. Sorry.
Which Obafemi, University of Alabama, roll tide. Brett, you're number 4.
I think Obafemi is impressive, but he's not. I would not include him, same as Joker, because I was looking not just at the former professional athlete, I was also looking at accomplishments after, and that's why I included Mark Henry as my number 4. So that's how I'm picking these. I'm looking at not only someone who had an actual professional or like amateur career, but actually then went in and had some significance in pro wrestling.
Gotcha. Matt, your number 4.
My number 4 is Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
Very top level collegiate wrestling career. Phenomenal athlete. It's more so the phenomenal athlete that he is, more than anything that is the athletic side. Like if Brock had gone stuck to wanting to be in the NFL, he would have been a potential Hall of Famer, you know.
Yeah.
And then obviously had a really good pro wrestling career. So you got to give it to Brock.
And then took a break and did UFC.
And apparently owns like 20% of Canada now.
But well, maybe he should. Never mind. My number 4. It's been setting the WWE on fire of late, but from under a mask, and is finally starting to get some recognition for what he can do in the ring. Former Olympic level amateur wrestler Chad Gable, who should be walking out of SummerSlam, the new IC champion.
Yep. I think it would only be because he listened to the tutelage of El Grande Americano.
Right, exactly. All right, Ego, you're number 3.
All right, at number 3, I've got the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. I know that there was the collegiate wrestling, and then there was the cup of coffee, and with the Minnesota Vikings in between. But the fact that he is probably going to be a wrestling and MMA Hall of Fame inductee, pretty good resume to have. So I got Brock Lesnar at number 3.
Brad, you're number 3.
I have someone who was from Georgia and played briefly in the NFL for 2 teams.
Oh, yeah.
And then had the streak in WCW, Goldberg. And again, I'm looking at someone who actually had a career.
Right.
I don't think he was a great wrestler.
No.
But he built his persona to become championship level and continued it for many years.
Yes. And good at giving concussions. Just Bret Hart.
He may not remember it, though.
And breaking hips. Just as La Parka. Matt, you're number 3.
There is a man who has won the UFC Heavyweight Championship, was the last Pancrase champion. That's a MMA thing going on. Has been multiple in MMA, but other champions. He is a legendary mixed grappling style real wrestler, and he is the current godfather of catch wrestling, which he inherited from all the old greats who died, trying to keep the sport of catch wrestling alive, which we all know pro wrestling grew out of. And he's also been in New Japan and TNA as a pro wrestler. Josh Barnett. And when he does when he does submission wrestling, he tries to stick to catch wrestling to demonstrate how effective it is.
Gotcha. My number 3, had it not been for a stress fracture in her foot, may never have come to pro wrestling. She was a Olympic level gymnast. Since she's come to the WWE, she's been a NXT Women's Champion, a Money in the Bank winner, a WWE Women's Champion. She's the current United States Women's Champion. Buff Barbie herself, Tiffany Stratton. All right, Ego, it's time for your number 2.
All right, my number 2 is the person that actually got me into MMA because I had no idea what the hell he was wearing gloves for in a wrestling match. Ken Shamrock.
Shamrock.
Yeah, I had no idea the concept of MMA or what was happening, but I was like, he's got the wrestling trunks on, but he's got these funny little gloves, and I have no idea what's happening. And people told me where they knew him from, and then like MMA ever since has been something I've loved watching. Number 2.
Because of Ken Shamrock is now why you have tapping out in pro wrestling.
Oh,
yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, didn't even know. That's awesome.
All right, Brad, you're number 2.
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. Go on.
College wrestling champion. He did have a chance to do the Vikings, but that didn't pan out. But then afterwards, he was the next big thing, and he ran with it. And then even when he left, he then went back and did MMA. He went to do MMA, and he kicked ass there. Yeah, he was a champion, MMA legit champion.
Yeah.
So and then like he left that career. So it's actually like he had his amateur wrestling career. Then he became a wrestler. Then he had his MMA fighting career. Then he became a wrestler again.
Agreed.
That's actually true. He's actually, I believe, the most dangerous man in the Attitude Era.
Yes. All right, Matt, you're number 2.
So this number 2 is a throwback to the era of, like I said, like catch wrestling and all that. He played in the NFL when you had to play both ways as a defensive tackle and running back for the Bears. He
I think
had a legendary Hall of Fame NFL career. He was a first class of the NFL Hall of Fame. He was in there. And while doing that, he had a legendary wrestling career. He won his first title, NWA Championship, from Lou Thez in 1935-ish. The man is Bronco Nagurski.
Wow, that's
a callback.
That is a deep cut.
Well, other than the first guy on my list, which we all can probably guess who most of our first guy is going to be, this was right after I thought Bronco. Like, the guy has, like, and I know I'm a wrestling historian, blah blah blah, but some of these guys we forget about, like Lou Thez. We don't think because they have the Thez press, you don't forget him, but Bronco and other guys. That's why I put that Gorilla Monsoon match in the chat the other day. How often have Ego? I don't know if you've ever seen Gorilla wrestle. You know, we forget how entertaining these guys were and their presence. And I know we have to watch the modern stuff. I love it too, but you can't forget the path you walked, or you won't know where you're going. You know, so.
Right. And right before we get to our number ones, we're at 11 likes, folks. 11, one away from speaking to Momomo to getting a special segment next week. Hit that thumbs up. It costs you nothing. So we're going into our number ones. Ego, your number one.
Hold on, you didn't give yours, Joker.
Oh, my number two is also Brock Lesnar. Everything that's been said, NC2A champion, WWE champion, never held the mid-card title, never wanted to. It was top prize and then nothing. Goes to the UFC, takes a break, and goes inside the octagon, dominates there, and then comes back to WWE, is a champion again, takes some time off, and is back and is still a major attraction. The guy is a legit freakish athlete. Hello, Momo. Long time no see, which means next week, folks, we start off the show with a special segment. Have not done one of those in a while. Thank you, chat. Ego.
Hold on. Before we do Ego, if he gets us wrong, we may have to kick him.
We may have to. I mean, it's very possible. I mean, it is.
It's true. It's true, Brad. We may have to.
It is already happened.
That's true.
It has already happened once. The show, just to keep Ego in check, you know, got to keep those bad takes.
I can't wait to hear about the professional sporting career that Jey Uso had before becoming a pro wrestler.
Right, exactly.
He did. Oh shit! I gotta cross out my number one.
He's a professional piece of shit.
Ego, your number one is.
All right. So the thing is, when you win an Olympic gold medal, you would think the one thing you may not want to do is go into professional wrestling because it seems beneath kind of your dignity of someone that capitalized off of winning a gold medal, not one, but two. But instead, he leads with that and has a historic career, and that man is Kurt Angle. And Dark Side of the Ring solidified it. I never got to see that version of Kurt Angle. Like mouthpiece, Kurt Angle is absolutely unhinged, and I am sad that I missed it. But I've got him at number one.
How did you like that lip dive off the stage that he did?
Man, I saw it and I was like, you know what? I understand the toll that it takes with doing that stuff, but for him to do that like post WWE, like that's an unnecessary risk that you take, and you do it for the love of the game. Good God, that's amazing. Well worth the $1 million they were paying him to be on TNA. Good God.
All right, Brad, you're number one.
Well, I'm thankful that Ego got it right, although he did miss something. Yes, Kurt Angle won a gold medal, but with a broken freaking neck.
I'll leave that to you guys. That was.
So I'm assuming you're number one.
Of course. Of course. I'm predicting straight across the board.
All righty. Matt, your number one is.
It's true. Kurt Angle, who was one of an era of guys like Josh Barnett, who came around at the same time period, a few other guys who reconnected pro wrestling with real wrestling. Because for about 20, 30 years, they had kind of split asunder. All the old timers, up until the time of Ric Flair and even the Harts, they were taught real wrestling, then pro wrestling. And then all of a sudden, wrestling school started up, and there was a lot of disdain for pro wrestling, and it all separated. But then guys like Josh Barnett and Kurt Angle and a couple other guys, Ken Shamrock, who's the guy with the pants? With the
Steve Blackman.
Steve Blackman.
Blackman, and then Dan Severn, the one of the
Ken
guys.
Patera.
Yeah, they all
Ken
came
Patera.
into pro wrestling
Right.
from and re-legitimized the connection. We know pro wrestling is choreographed, but it has a beautiful historic connection to to all the real wrestling styles, where they show us in the ring all the different in demonstrated way. You know what I mean? So I love that part of it. That we can see what, say, Greco-Roman versus sumo might look like because of the show the pro wrestlers could put on.
Right.
And then if you're interested, you can go really learn those real wrestling styles.
Number one, WWE Grand Slam champion, TNA Triple Crown champion, NC2A champion, New Japan Pro Wrestling IGWP champion, and a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. It's true. It's true. It's damn true. Pull up the milk truck. It is Kurt Angle.
Yep. Let's
Just-
give Kurt the chance, guys. You suck.
You
suck.
You suck.
Which was what was it? When Kendall Gray won the NXT Women's Championship, her ring gear and her jacket, she had a Kurt Angle style jacket, and her ring gear was inspired by Kurt Angle. And kind of also with Chad Gable, they all do the elbow slam, they all do the ankle lock.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle, his influence, not only as a character, which also underrated as a comedic character.
Oh my God, he was so fucking funny. The little cowboy hat.
The milk truck.
The milk truck is will go down forever as just historic.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a clean sweep for number one.
Yep.
And a very strong number two showing,
Yep.
and then looks like a
Three-way tie.
three-way tie for third. Okay.
Yep, that's what I got.
And so, go for it, Brad.
At three, we have Mark Henry, we have Ken Shamrock, and Bronco Nagruski. I think you said his last name was Nagruski. Okay. Number two is Brock Lesnar with 13 points, and unshockingly, Kurt Angle. Clean sweep. Should have been
20. So if we ever do this topic again, Kurt Angle is off the table. And that might be true. Which
Fair
next week we're going to do, this is going to have a segment already. How the Mighty Have Fallen, the cool down of Braun Breaker, Gunther, and Jacob Fatu. That will be a segment next week. We will open with a special segment, thanks to you guys, because we got to talk to the Momo, and we haven't seen Momo in a couple weeks. I miss Momo. So Momo, do you mind saying hi one more time? So good to see Momo again. But that will do it for the show tonight. We're going to go around the horn and shill for ourselves. Mr. LeftEyeEgo, covered in spittle, operating on no sleep. And you chose this, sir. So you chose this life. What do you have coming up, sir?
Well, Shiro's birthday is Saturday, so I'm looking up stuff to fit in a last minute birthday that I forgot about nearly. But as far as
Whoa.
content wise,
Wow.
yeah. Man, a lot of stuff been happening, man. It's been busy around here. I kind of forgot about things. So see what happens.
Well,
You just made the list!
God, I hope she doesn't watch us.
I know, right?
We got some ordinary gains coming up pretty soon, and all I gotta say is you'll like the new look. Shout out to Jacob Ironside. You'll love what you see.
Oh, interesting. All right.
You should have just said I gave you a baby.
Right.
I was gonna say that, but she said, "Don't you dare say that."
Well, somehow I could see Shiro pulling that card too. So, Mr. Duke Devil 95, you had a big show with your
Yeah, we recorded Monday night
big
for
deal.
over 3 hours. Let's see if I get this right here. Yeah, this is the thing that happened. Wormhole Watch this week, season 4, with some guy named Gary.
I hear he's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I read this book, which is kind of good, but I want the sequel because it kind of ends with apparently he starts a YouTube channel.
Really?
I don't know if you've heard of it. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I don't know if it's going to grow or not. It's only got 1.3 million subscribers.
Maybe if he was ever just happened to be in town, we might be able to just like, hey, hang out and grab a beer.
I mean, maybe I've done that 7 times or so at this point. But legitimately, this was maybe one of the coolest things I've ever done on the internet. Getting to watch. What?
I heard you fanboyed a little bit.
I don't know that I fanboyed that much. I fanboyed much more in front of the Next Generation cast.
Well, Fractured says you were kind of fanboying.
Well, you have to pay honor to your guest. So.
True.
Yeah, I thanked him multiple times because I'm seriously, why the fuck would you come on a show with less than 600 subscribers?
I know, right? Which I'm going to talk to you.
Did you get a boost?
I haven't published it yet. This is 3.5 hours of editing I have to do.
All righty. And for the excoriating Terminator, Matt, what do you have coming up, sir?
Well, hopefully I have more wheelchair time coming up soon.
Yes.
Which will get me out of here and back home where I can be on a real computer. What else? We'll be on Roman's show finally to do Logan's Run tomorrow.
Yes.
Obviously back here next week.
Yes.
We'll be back here on this show every Wednesday, far more often than the Seahawks will ever be in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
That's what I got going on.
Wow. Hold on a second. We need to do something for that. Hold on. Let's bring this back here. We're going to do this. And then I got to do this. I got to find it again. Here we go.
Fatality.
And as for myself, yes, I will be on with Roman of the Empire tomorrow, talking about the 70s classic sci-fi film, Logan's Run. And we'll be back here next week with more talk about the world of professional wrestling. We will go over the Ass Wrestling Card, the show that was Saturday night's main event, which I will be trusting Salama Honester and his review because I'm not wasting my time with that card. But until then, I would like to say on behalf of everyone here at Wednesdays is Overbooked, have a great rest of your week. Keep talking, keep smiling, and until hang on, I can't find technology is supposed to make it easier. I'm just boomering the fuck out of this. Until next week, take care and always have.
And here we go.
like gravity. All it takes is a little push.